6 weeks after her election, Arizona Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva still hasn't been sworn in because House Speaker Mike Johnson has kept the House in recess to avoid dealing with the government shutdown. In an op-ed this week, Grijalva called Johnson's extended recess shockingly irresponsible. She also noted the only difference between her and every other special election winner this year is that she'd be the decisive 218th signature on a discharge petition to force a vote on releasing files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva joins us again right now. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. I'm wondering if we can start off with you giving us a little bit of an update of that lawsuit that was filed by your attorney general to force Mike Johnson's hand to swear you in 6 weeks after you won your election.
Yep, we're at 46 days and counting. I would love to talk to you all about something else, but here we are waiting. I think that what has been decided is the judge has been assigned to the case, and then Attorney General Mays. I think we're all hoping that the House, that Speaker Johnson is going to read the tea leaves and get to work, swear me in, so we don't have to go seek judicial support in him doing his job. But that's sort of where we are. I think there's going to be perhaps a request this next week to expedite a decision. But at this point, I think we're all hoping that the House will reopen.
Well, Congresswoman, do you have any confidence, given what we've seen come out of Washington lately, that if the court comes back and says you must be sworn in, that the Speaker will actually listen to the court?
I don't. I think that he'll dig his heels. I mean, let's be real. I mean, this administration, it doesn't really matter what court decisions come down, what the rule of law is. They get to make their own decisions. That's sort of what their MO has been. And so it is very frustrating. So that's why I keep saying my hope is that we look at this CR. It's only been extended. I mean, it was only written through the 21st of November.
Right,
so at some point, we have to get to work.
I mean, at this point, y'all might as well get another CR because through November is like tomorrow.
Right.
I want to play some sound from your future colleague, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is on your side, which is a little surprising to folks, I think.
I wonder how you feel about someone like Adelita Grijalva, who, I mean, you say you can't work for your district because the House is out of session. She won her election 6 weeks ago and still has not been sworn in.
She should be sworn in.
Point blank.
Yep.
You haven't started yet, so I'm not going to get you into trouble with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't want to ask you what you think behind that, but I do wonder if you're hearing from other Republicans who maybe are with Marjorie Taylor Greene and you and a lot of the Democrats, which is we need to at least bring ourselves back to Washington, D.C. so we can swear you in and actually get to doing the work of the American people, even if the shutdown is still going on.
I think regardless of party, if I were a Republican, I would have been sworn in already. I mean, I think everybody knows that. And we've had several Republicans come out publicly and say, it's crazy. Us waiting this long is crazy. She should have been sworn in a long time ago. There have been several, over 10 pro forma sessions that I could have been easily sworn in any of those. And I think because, Speaker Johnson painted himself into a corner with saying, well, we won't do it. Like I'm just this sort of, in this crazy congressional limbo that, he made the statement that we're not going to swear her in until we reopen and have a regular legislative session, that I'm stuck in this this box that he created.
Yeah. Have you spoken to Speaker Mike Johnson at all during the 6 weeks?
No. Okay. No, I called twice because I didn't know what the protocol was. So the first time I get there, I'm like, oh, so how do we schedule, how do we do this? So I called, left a message, left another message, sent a letter. And then Leader Jeffries, very shortly after I won my election, started lobbying and pushing for us to get a date. And it sort of now that we have a legal case, I don't really think we should have a face-to-face conversation at this point.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure that everything will be taken out of context, regardless of what's said.
I'm wondering if you could paint us a little bit of a picture of what you're hearing from your constituents while you're in this limbo and what the difference might be in terms of the work you can get done as a Congresswoman-elect versus an actual sworn-in member, especially during a time where, yes, the government is shut down, but constituents might need more attention and help than usual because of the lack of services that they might be receiving because of the shutdown.
You know, Representative Stalwell said it, and it sort of hurt my soul a little bit, but it's true. I don't have constituents until I'm sworn in. I have people that I can help as an everyday person, but I won an election. I have no office. I have no budget. I have no way of onboarding staff until we actually get sworn in. We can't even access federal databases. I mean, like, think about it. So the things that I'm doing are things that I've done before. I was giving out food boxes, going and talking to people about the effects of this shutdown. I mean, I'm trying to provide resources as Adelita Grijalva, your neighbor, and someone who's been invested in this community for a very long time. But I don't have any official role right now other than I won an election.
Congresswoman-elect, you represent a border district, or you will, once you're sworn in,
Allegedly.
represent a border district. You'll be the first Latina member of Congress from Arizona once Mike Johnson swears you in. What's your reaction to the extreme immigration enforcement from the administration? And I wonder how you think it played in Tuesday's election results.
It's inhumane and cruel. And I think that's the design of this administration and how they are scapegoating our immigrant communities. It played a huge role. I think people are seeing themselves in the families that are being separated. They're seeing themselves in the people that are working class, veterans that have been deported, citizens that have been deported. And so when you look at how cruel this policy has been, people really appreciate that many of us are only 1 or 2 generations away from the people that are being targeted by this administration. And respectfully, at this point, they can target anyone that looks different. If you speak with an accent, if you're driving if you're driving a truck that looks like you might be a worker, they can pull you over. And that's what they're doing here. We have the 3 ports of entry with Mexico and Arizona in CD7. We have a lot of border communities, and they are some of the safest, most beautiful communities there are. And we're all sick of being targeted by this administration and other people that want to benefit from making it seem as if we are in this, crisis of criminality, which is not true.
And the Supreme Court seems to, if I remember correctly, given them carte blanche and using those tactics of looking at someone saying they're brown, they speak Spanish, and treating them like an undocumented immigrant. Arizona Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, hopefully we won't have to bring you on as an elect, but we will see. I'm sure we'll continue covering your story. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.